Welcome back to the lunch table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right down here ish. It's on YouTube, also on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. I have probably someone who I would consider such a hard worker, somebody who's consistently on their grind. And if you go on her Instagram page, she has like a plethora of titles. First of all, she's a UC Irvine graduate. Shout out, what was that, Anteaters, I believe?
What's that?
She works for the PR firm Echoing Sounds, which is responsible for working with people like DJ Charisma, E40, Pink Dolphin, and a lunch table regular guest, Eric Bellinger. She owns this management company called Killer Instinct ENT. She is also the studio manager for No Name Studios, just right down around here. And she is also an A&R for Good Music. She goes by the name of Tia Owens. Tia, what's poppin'?
What's good?
You know, that was probably the longest introduction like I've ever had to do for anybody.
It was great. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's why, it was crazy because I think the first thing I noticed was UC Irvine grad student. And, I noticed a lot of people in the music industry don't normally go to college or, get that education.
Yeah, definitely. My family just always wanted me to have, a strong foundation when it comes to getting my education. And that was definitely always important to them.
Yeah.
No matter what I end up actually doing after that. So, it ended up being important to me as well. And I was able to attend UC Irvine, graduate in 3 years with 2 majors.
3 years?
Yeah.
With 2 majors?
2 majors and a minor.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What were you majoring in?
I had a major in criminology, law and society.
Yeah.
And then my other major was film and media with a minor in African American studies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's that's really interesting to
Yeah.
compact those 2 majors because even criminology, I can't imagine somebody trying to pack all of that in 3 years. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. It was just studying the whole time.
Yeah.
No
social life?
I made time, I fit it in every once in a while, but you're in Irvine, so what else is there to do?
Irvine it's the safest city in the U.S.
Yes,
especially at that time too. But then now there's been Irvine actually just upset in the NCAA. Irvine's coming up. I love Irvine.
We're doing some good things.
Yeah, you are.
I'm proud. I'm definitely a proud anteater.
Yeah. So why'd you decide to do criminology though?
So, actually before I really dived into the music business, I wanted to be a child's advocate. And that was one of my career passions. So with that program, it allowed me to explore more of that side with social service work and all of that. And I had an internship at CAST. It's Child Abuse Center in Orange County.
Okay.
And it was a great experience, but I learned that a lot of the things that were going on with the children there, it just hit home for me. And it's just a lot of emotions to deal with on an everyday basis. So I give it up for the people who actually, are child advocates and doing social service work and just have to deal with real lives every single day because it's a really important job. But just emotionally, I was just so invested into these kids. One girl in particular, I was really emotionally invested in, and it just, I want to be able to, if you're in that position, you want to be able to do your job as best as possible and not let your emotions get in the way. And with me, I think I would have just been an emotional wreck.
I feel you. Yeah, I think that even goes in with the music industry. The more you invest yourself,
Definitely.
there's kind of a fine line in which you can care enough, but you can't care too much.
Yeah, absolutely. It can take over your life, really, because those kids are going through, being torn away from their families, having traumatic, devastating things happen within their families internally. It's a tricky system to navigate, but I quickly learned it just wasn't going to be for me.
Were those experiences that you were experiencing as you were a kid? Why is that so important to you?
Well, yeah, I've gone through a lot with my family. I have a really close-knit family, and they've shown me nothing but love and support. But I've definitely gone through things within my journey that allowed me to relate to some of the children. And when you see something that just hits home,
Yeah.
sometimes you can't be that close to it.
Yeah.
And so I definitely chose the music business route.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for it.
Yeah. So then when was that point in which you did start pursuing music as a career?
I think after college is when I was able to really just like dive in and get my feet wet. But in college at Irvine, I was like I was on the Hip Hop Congress board. I was also a part of ACUSI. It's like Associated Students. It's a government within UCI where you
Okay.
can bring huge artists and have them perform for
Oh,
like
wow.
Oktoberfest.
I didn't know Irvine got down like that.
Yeah, like my years, we had Kendrick perform, we had YG, we had
Wow.
Tyga. We brought them all out.
What year was that like?
Well, I was there between 2011 to 2014.
Okay.
So,
Oh, so then you graduated, so you're class of 11 too then.
mm-hmm.
That's what's up. Yeah.
High school,
I
yeah.
graduated high school in 11 too. I ended up going to Cal State LA.
Hey.
But it is what it is. But UC Irvine, like I didn't realize they got down like that. Like I always felt like the college experience wasn't necessarily the same in my situation because I went to a Cal State, and then I would always go to like my friends' colleges at like the UCs and whatnot because it just seemed much more like a college and like the full on experience.
Yeah, it's a big campus. It's a big university. I think that's where I even got more interested in the music business side because I was able to like work backstage events for like Travis Scott performing, and this is before like
Any of them blew up.
any of them blew up. Like literally at the Kendrick concert, I think me and a couple of my friends were like the only ones that knew all the words because he hadn't really put anything huge out. This is when like Section 80 was out.
Yeah.
And he was still just getting his real solid fan base, but the love was there then, and it just grew from there.
It must have been really cool for you being backstage, seeing all these people and not knowing like where their careers would go later on in their lives. And then like, a couple of years later, you see like, oh, that was Kendrick. Oh, that was that guy named Travis Scott who, I was helping out in the back.
No, it's crazy. I look back and I'm like, I even forget sometimes. Like I talk with my parents and I'm like, oh my God, I did do that event with Travis Scott. And it was in like a little conference room and I'm outside passing out $5 tickets to everybody on campus, trying to get everybody to come see like Casey Veggies and him. It was a really dope experience.
Yeah. And I feel like at least coming from the energy I'm getting off from you, it was really just about like the love of it because it's like you never really know who was going to be like a thing later on. But like I think just seeing as how you were just like hustling in college, I feel like that if you can hustle in college, you can kind of like hustle anywhere else too.
100%. I mean, you're doing all of these things, these huge like productions in college for free, So it's extra curricular activities. So it's a part of, this is aside from my 2 majors and minors that I'm trying to pursue.
Yeah.
So I definitely have to love it to be able to cut out time to do all of these different events and just be a part of it. It was definitely dope.
So then by the time it was graduation, right,
Yes.
you have your double major and you also have this love for music. Like, what was the job situation afterwards? Like, how did you know what to do after that?
I always knew that I was going to search for an internship within the music industry, no matter what that be. It's kind of funny because after college, with these 2 degrees, I'm like, all right, like I'm ready to hit the ground running. Like, let's go. I'm ready to get a job. It doesn't work like that. It's like a hard search, even today, to find just an entry-level position, you know? And you learn very quickly that you're going to be working for free for like
a long time.
I'm pretty sure I worked free internships for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Going into 2 years, like it was really hard. And me being
like,
out of
Tia,
state.
Get my coffee.
Completely.
Yeah.
Go get my food. You messed this order up. I told you I wanted ice with this. Like really just doing that dirty work. But it's kind of like, paying your dues.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through it. Everybody has to do it, especially in this industry. You have to get comfortable with when you're starting out, you're going to work for free.
Yeah.
There's like no other way to get around it.
Yeah. Because, even back in the day, like when I think growing up, like you and I didn't really know what an internship was.
Right.
But then we knew what free work was. And even like, let's say I had chores, growing up and whatnot. And like they didn't pay me. They were just like, do this, do that, do that. But then it instills the idea that like, okay, if I'm going to make somebody happy, do some hard work. And you know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And it goes the same way in terms of like any major corporation or any workforce you're trying to enter in, because like if they don't know you can do the hard work, they're not really going to give you this time of day to even consider you to be part of their company full time.
100%. It's about making sure that you have the love for it first. You
Yeah.
know, so like if you really care about being in this music industry, you need to just be comfortable and learn like, yo, I'm going to be working for free.
Yeah.
You know, it's about being able to see a bigger picture, you know, and
Hmm.
not just being so narrow-minded of just forgetting about that. So many other opportunities can come from just an internship.
Oh yeah.
You could get hired on. That internship can lead to an even better internship and then a job after that. Like, you never know.
Hmm. And you never really know who your boss knows too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
And if you impress that one boss, let's say like for your internships, right? Like
Yeah,
did you end up like working for any of those actual spots?
I did actually. Echoing Sounds.
Echoing sounds. Okay.
Yes, I did. I started. I mean, Echo pretty much got me a little bit after college, and I
Hmm.
interned for her for quite some time, and even took other internships while being with Echoing Sounds.
Wow.
And then once they hired me on, I Echo gave me a part-time position as the social media manager, which I still am right now, and have still been able to, you know, go off on my own and create other opportunities for myself. So I've been working at least
Damn.
2 jobs at the same time
So you were doing
since
internships.
college.
You were doing like internships while you also had your part time.
Yeah,
Wow, dude, I
definitely.
respect that so much. No, because a lot of people don't recognize the fact that like, I think it's like a gift and a curse when you have so much on your plate.
Yeah.
Because for one thing, like how much you're able to do and how much you're capable of, but at the same time, like I feel like with having so much on your plate, like you don't know like what you should eat first.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think what helped me be able to balance different jobs, personal life, just everything in a whole is that, like, I kind of have done that my whole life. I was, you know, cramming all of these classes within UC Irvine in 3 years. Even before that, back home in Colorado, I went to an art school. I
Wow.
had my vocal major, I would have my actual, like, classes. We would have rehearsals after. Like, I've always been in a situation where I have to juggle multiple things at once, and that's
Mm.
gotten me ready for all the jobs I've
Yeah.
done since.
Yeah, and then like your 5 jobs ends up becoming like 2 or 3, and then those 3 end up like paying you for like the rest of your life, hypothetically speaking. Yeah,
Exactly. That's the goal.
yeah. So then, Echoing Sounds. You said you were the social media manager.
Currently.
Currently, cool. So then, before was an internship. Now you're the social media manager. What exactly does that entail for you?
Handling all of Echo's accounts that she may have. Also managing all of our personal pages,
Mm-hmm.
our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of those things. Helping on site at certain events and, you know, making sure that we're capturing all of those great moments for all
Mm-hmm.
of the fans and followers that we do have. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Creating
lot.
content, video
Yeah.
content, you know, all of those things.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend actually just got a job over at LA Live doing like the exact same thing.
Oh,
And like,
nice.
like the jobs sound like very synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always like a gift and a curse when it comes to social media because we kind of need it in order to survive in this entertainment industry.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think that with social media, it has also allowed artists to be able to touch their fan base more
Hmm.
directly. You know, everything is it's kind of up to the artist what they want to do. They don't have to really rely on a label or anyone else to tell them to
You
how to
can't do
market or
it,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah, and that you can't do certain things. Like, no, you're an artist, you can do whatever you want. You have a platform. And that's definitely what technology has allowed for all of these artists. And the company like Echoing Sounds just helps them
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. But then I guess the only caveat that comes with that is always like the oversaturation.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's definitely, I think it's gotten a little bit harder for A&Rs and others to be able to decipher just real good, solid talent and a real following and decipher that out from, you know, ones that may not be as good or not be ready to be signed to a label or put on a higher platform or invested in. So it is harder. I think that with labels, a lot of things have changed and everything is kind of by the numbers now. It's all about the
Yeah.
streams. It's all about the following. But, if you can find that middle ground, I think it can work.
So then, you being an A&R for good music, like what is that middle ground for you? Like what do you look for when it comes to seeking talent?
Well, when I was an A&R for good
Okay.
music, I think that we just wanted something that was different. Something that we didn't already have on the label, I think was the goal then. Something that also included talent. We want somebody who has the talent but also has like a good buzz. You want that middle ground, and that's something that Good was looking for. And yeah,
Who
that's
are
pretty
you
much it.
assisting like bringing onto the label?
I helped facilitate with a bunch of different projects. I personally didn't sign anybody,
Yeah.
but I worked under Che Pope, who, you know, facilitated projects as like designer and Shake and
Oh wow.
Tiana. And, I was able to assist him in delivering their albums, which was really, really cool.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
and I learned a lot from Che and being able to work under John Monopoly.
What were you learning?
How to interact with artists. All artists are so different. Some artists, they they already have a vision of what they want their project to be like. Some have no idea. Some need you to help them through every single step. Each artist needs a little bit of different catering. You have to talk to them all differently. It's just learning how to navigate that, and that was something that Che Pope is really good at and was able to kind of help me along with and kind of coach me. He's definitely like a mentor for me. He's a great producer too. So watching him be able to like put different pieces together for an album and just where he is creatively and everything, it was just really
Damn.
dope.
Yeah. And that's something that numbers can't necessarily, I guess you can't put like a stamp on like numbers on like personality.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to like a designer, like I've met designer a couple times in which like he's very energetic, but then he's not the most like outspoken person. And when it comes to like what's her name, '07 and like her crew, like they're
Yeah.
very outspoken. So then
Right.
like, sometimes you just got to tip the scale. Like this person's a little bit easier to work with, but then this person you can really be a little bit more creative with if like they have no direction. I'm not saying the designer doesn't have any direction, but in the event in which an artist doesn't really have direction, that's where you guys can kind of come in and be like, oh, well, we can kind of like formulate it this way because it might pop off that way.
Right, yeah. Like, I mean, every artist has different needs, and just figuring out what their weaknesses are and what their strengths are going to be able to help your job at the end of the day, because then you'll be able to have a plan and be like, oh, okay, so this artist is one that really needs to connect more with producers, or this one needs more songwriters, or this one needs help with songwriting arrangement. This one needs more marketing and kind of has everything else. Like everybody has different needs, and as an A&R, I think a part of your job, aside from signing talent, is to help make sure that you get their project from start to finish. And by doing that, you need to know what they need and how to get them what they need.
Who's been like the most, I guess I want to say, who have you put the most like elbow grease in which like it felt the most rewarding afterwards?
Within good music, I think I worked a lot with like the newer acts that were recently signed. So I was more involved with them, but their projects haven't come out yet. So
Gotcha.
we'll wait for
Yeah.
that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool. So then I'm sure you've taken like what you've worked with as an A&R for good music, like for Killer Instinct as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, vice versa. I think things that I had done on my own with Killer Instinct Entertainment helped me be prepared for things within good music, because I had Killer Instinct Entertainment for a while now.
How long?
About 3 years.
Okay.
We've had the label side.
Yeah.
of it. And then now we have our studio side.
So then you
of
were
everything.
juggling. So you were juggling having your job at Echo,
Yeah.
being an A&R at Good Music at the same time, and you were also working on Killer Instinct at the same time.
Yeah, I
Jesus
was
Christ.
definitely, and I was wearing different hats within Good Music. It was a lot. I was, the studio manager for Good Music. I was John Monopoly's executive assistant and A&R. I had just gotten my promotion for A&R for Good. So it was a lot of different hats. But again, I think that those things only help me for my next, step in life. It's all about it being a stepping stone and it preparing you for that next chapter.
I mean, I guess with wearing so many hats, like, what is it exactly that you want to do?
I think it's funny because people always talk about, don't wear so many hats, just master one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of feel like that's totally cool to master one thing, but I'm kind of also think that it's not so bad to be able to know different aspects of the industry,
Yeah.
because initially, like, I have my label, Killer Instinct Entertainment. That is my label. That's the brand that I want to push. I feel like the goal is to be able to work for yourself. And that's the point that I'm at, So initially that is what I'm focused on. But I think that me having all of these different internships and different experiences with different aspects of the industry have just made me be a better asset to whatever company I'm at next or my own.
Yeah, because you know so many things.
I know so many things. I'm with Echoing Sounds, involved in the PR side. I've worked at Republic Records. I know the label side. Being at Good, more of the independent label side. All of those different things can only make me a better owner for my businesses and an asset at the next company I choose to go to.
Mm-hmm. Well, because even at that sense, it's like if you know just a little bit of everything, right? And then let's say once Killer Instinct becomes like this huge company that you just can't hold on your hands altogether, you will know at that point, like, okay, well, once you start hiring people, it's like, well, I can hire the best in this lane because I already know what it's like. I can hire the best, like, social media person because I already know what it's like.
Exactly. One thing that is cool is that anybody within the label that we decide to hire, they can never say that I never done their job. Like I have. And even if I don't know all aspects of it, like I know what it takes to at least get things done,
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of important, especially if you're trying to run a huge label or just company in general, to be able to know, like, be able to do the job that your staff does. Even with running a studio, I always try to tell, like, the interns, like, yo, I'm never giving you something that I wouldn't do myself. Like, I've been in there scrubbing the floors. I've been in there going on food runs for artists. If you guys weren't here, I would be doing that regardless, It's not about me having, that ego or power trip. Like, I would do all of those things. And I think that's important for every person who wants to own their own company to know. Like, it's good to be able to understand that there's all these different positions and that you know how to do all of them.
Yeah. I feel like you're on this like thin line of I ain't shit, but I'm also the shit.
I mean, I'm just,
You know what I mean?
I'm just super grateful and thankful for all the opportunities I've gotten. And try to take advantage of all the opportunities that come my way. Like, I couldn't do any of this without, like, solid support from my family.
Yeah.
They really, like, set me up for success. So in my mind, I kind of feel like I have to be successful because there's no reason for me not to be. Like, there are so many kids and so many just people out there that don't have the amount of resources that I had growing up. So even if I went through struggles in my lifetime, they weren't enough of an excuse for me to be like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it in life. I'm not going to be as successful as I want to be. There's no excuse.
Yeah.
I'm going to be successful, and my family made sure of that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to push 100 times hard to even succeed their expectations.
Yeah. Because, I mean, right now, like, do you ever, like, talk back to your family and do they kind of just, like, look at what you're doing kind of like, oh, shit?
I think, I think they're really, really proud. And my goal is to just keep making them even that much more proud and surprising people. They definitely keep me going. That's for sure.
So then, was there like a moment in which, like, I guess like a particular moment that sticks out to you about your family in which they're like, oh wow, like Tia's making it right now?
Um,
Whether it
trying
be
to
like a
think.
video or somebody that
I
you were
think
working
that like
with.
my family has just been ultimately proud all the way. Like, oh wow, she graduated from Denver School of the Arts. Oh wow, she graduated from high school. Like, I think I just keep surprising them, but at the same time, it's not a surprise because
They see it constantly happening. Yeah,
they
yeah.
see how hard I work. So I think that doesn't make it as much of a surprise because they see the late nights that I'm working, the early mornings, just all the effort it takes for me to get to each of my little points in life. So.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of points in life in order to reach that one thing that you want to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, I mean, all I can really say is just like hard work does pay off. But I also think that, it never stops. You always want to keep progressing and learning. And, I'm still learning. I have my 2 studios that I'm currently running with 3 and 4 on the way.
Jesus Christ.
And the artists that I'm working with. Shout out to Rose Royce.
Oh, there we
know,
go.
You
Okay.
know? So
She's
I
watching.
mean,
Tia's watching.
watching. And it's been great to work with him as well. But it's all a learning process, and I don't care what anybody says. There's no handbook for this with this music industry stuff.
Yeah.
There's no handbook. All you can do is pave your way and make the right decisions, and keep your integrity. Really.
So Killer Instinct. Do you have like any artist signed to your label right now?
Rose Royce is the is the artist that we are focused on pushing with Killer Instinct Entertainment. We have some really good things in the works. Look out for his upcoming album. It'll be out soon.
I'll be at that listening party in a couple
All right,
weeks.
well,
Yeah,
I'll see you.
there.
I'll see you. So yeah, that's just our focus right now in the studios.
Yeah, what is it that you see in like Rose Royce? Because I have my own opinions.
I think that, I'm just such a big fan. Me and my family are just such big fans of that West Coast hip hop.
From Denver?
From Denver, Colorado, okay? There are real ones out there, real ones. Yeah, I just grew up a huge fan. My dad influenced that a lot in me because he would play that music. So meeting up with Rose and hearing his music, and he has a lot of that in him. I mean, he embodies that.
West Coast hip hop.
That West Coast hip hop. And again, his penmanship hits crazy.
So then who are you listening to growing up? Because I'm really curious.
West Coast gangster rap.
It's like some NWA shit.
NWA,
Snoop, Dr.
Ice
Dre.
Cube, Pac, of course.
So you kind of like planned out moving to California. It seems like you kind of knew you wanted to go to California.
No, I knew. The only colleges I applied to were out here. I didn't apply to any Colorado schools, any other schools. There was no safety net. I was coming out here.
Damn.
No matter what.
I respect that so much, man.
Yeah, I mean, it
respect
wasn't
that.
easy. It wasn't easy, and it hasn't been easy, and there's been bumps along the way. And to be honest, there's been times where I'm like, yo, Colorado's sounding real good right now.
Right?
Home is sounding real good
The air's
right now.
much fresher. Ain't no traffic.
Yeah, but we're getting popping. There's a little bit more traffic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there's traffic.
I mean, Denver's beating Golden State right now. I'm from the Bay.
Okay.
So, Denver, I see Denver as like the only competition this year.
We're doing good.
You guys are doing good.
We're doing really good. I'm a Denver fan of everything. Broncos, Nuggets, win, lose. Those are my teams.
I respect that too.
But, I'm here and I know that California is the place to be if you're trying to be in music business, at least one of the places. And my dad, it's funny, my dad, ever since I was a little girl, has been taking me throughout my spring breaks or my summers, he would take me out here, show me California.
Oh, wow.
Just show me little things that really inspired me to be like, this is the place I want to be. Like, I have to be there. I have to pursue a career within music business out here. So that was like always the plan.
Yeah, it even seemed like they kind of instilled all that in you since you were young.
Well, at an early age, I knew, it's kind of funny, I knew I wanted to be in music, but back then I wanted to be an artist, a pop artist.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted
Tight.
to be that pop artist on Disney Channel, and I
Were you
wanted
gonna
to be
go
a
by-
little star.
Were you going to go by
and
Tia Owens, or were you
I was
going to
go by
something else?
Ms. Tia Jade.
Ms. Tia Jade?
Ms. Tia Jade.
I like that.
Rap, sing, dance. Thought I had it all. So I think one of my first studio sessions was literally in some little shack in Compton that my dad took me to.
Damn.
Behind some store. It was crazy. And I just did like covers and my own songs. And yeah, I had been coming out. So I knew I wanted to be in music. But the transformation into music business happened later.
Yeah. And it seems like, it's always a long shot. I feel like when it comes to the radio personalities or anybody in music, there was always just that one point in which, like, I could be a rapper. I could be a singer.
Oh, yeah.
I could do something. So it's like we all collectively know, like, what was going on or we can all connect back to that one moment.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of funny just looking back, seeing as how, like, damn, I really wanted to do that. Because back then, like, right now I go by Nico Blitz, but I was going by Lil Blitz.
Hey, Little Blitz.
Time, yeah.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I love this, like, Bay Area hypey shit, so I was making all my songs around that. But, like, I look back now and I just, like, laugh, like, damn, that was funny. But it was a good time in life.
Exactly. And I think that those memories can only help us now with the profession that we're in because we're able to, like, relate to the artist, Even if it's not on a huge level, I know what it's like to be, like, having those nerves and
I was
singing.
recording in a shack back there in Compton.
I understand, certain concerns or issues or things they may be feeling. And I think that those things back when, we're kids, those help us now.
Yeah.
Even subconsciously.
Yeah, for sure. Seeing as how, like, Killer Instinct, like, I think I just saw a photo. You guys just had, like, Wale in the studio.
Yeah.
That was pretty tight. What's your relationship like with him?
Well, I don't have a relationship with Wale.
There we go.
But my studio facilities are great facilities, and amazing artists have been in our facilities. From Wale to Kodak Black, to Smoke Perp, a bunch of people.
Yeah.
We've had some really great artists and some great things that hopefully will be coming out soon that have been made in our studio facilities, and we have a great staff. So I'm really passionate about the studio facilities that I have. Again, I'm wanting to open up another, like, third, fourth. I want Killer Instinct Studios all around town, all around the U.S.
Crazy.
I think what I know is we definitely need more of them out here.
Yeah.
But good facilities with a solid staff that can, create a vibe for an artist, for them to be in a safe, comfortable place, for them to make hits.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want. And it's kind of cool to feel like a part of that. And I've always wanted to be able to work in a creative space, have my own company, work for myself. My dad is my partner within our, Killer Instinct Entertainment. So is my boyfriend Eastwood.
Shout out Eastwood. He's on the couch right now, you feel me?
A&Ring over here, putting plays together. So it's definitely like a family business. It's really dope.
And I think that's one thing that very much separates Killer Instinct from, like, a lot of these other companies that I'm aware of, because when you can integrate family relationships, for example, like, it doesn't seem like a business anymore. It just kind of, at least from my perspective, it just seems like it's just like a family thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. It doesn't feel like work. It's just what we do, and we joy each other in the process of doing it. And the little milestones that we do have, we can be there for each other and support each other. When things don't go our way, we're still there to support each other, and we still have that solid foundation that nobody can break.
Yeah. So Tia, man, that's a lot of information packed within, like, 30 minutes. We usually crack an hour, but then, you pack in, like, a lot of information at once, so I fuck with it.
Well, thank you.
It's
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, Tia. So for Killer Instinct, moving forward, it's just, like, a whole bunch of projects that you guys are working on?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to build with the artists that we have been working with, and continue to build in, the studio space. And everybody's gonna be seeing us.
Keep
We're
it moving
moving
forward.
Yeah, we're moving.
Well, the next time I see you will probably be during Rose Royce's listening party.
Yes, we will be there, and it's gonna be dope.
Amen to that. Tia, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Tia Jade. TIAJAYED. There we go.
Okay, there was like a little question mark at the end. Like, am I spelling this shit right?
You guys can find me. You'll find me. Tia Owens in the search bar. I'll come up.
This is the Lunch Table Food for Thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Tia Owens. We are out.
Thank you.